It's been a long spring without the SoBo Racing Association on the channel, but summer is finally here, and with it come the first of 2025's Impel Motorsports National Tour events. Also, the first leg of the Impel National Tour Virginia Triple Crown. Over 30 of the best late model racers in all of sim land are here at South Boston for the Association South Boston 200, and this is set to be a classic once again. Welcome to Pit Stop TV in the virtual South Boston, Virginia. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV, and it's a pleasure to join you for coverage of the SoBo Racing Association Impel Motorsports National Tour for the Association South Boston 200. Tonight's coverage is brought to you by Impel Motorsports, by the Association, and by Whiplash Sim Cams. We're going to roll right into qualifying this evening, but not before we take a look at this evening's Whiplash Sim Cams track map. This, of course, is the South Boston Speedway that we're taking a look at. Of course, the blue line is the track layout. The yellow line is the track pit lane. There's two pit lanes to hit this evening. The back pit lane will be used by some cars and will be used as this evening's inside choose lane. The backstretch on the outside oval will be the outside lane for the choose lane. We'll talk more about that this evening. And of course, this is the sister track to Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania, where the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, and Truck Series are headed this weekend. Let's also visit the schedule coming into this evening. It is a beefy one, although a little bit trimmed back from 2024. This is the Association South Boston 200. Next up, the Cody Williams Design Slinger Nationals. Then we move on to the Thronberg Construction Hampton Heat, one after the other. Then it's off to August, the SoBo Racing Association Oxford 250, and then a break until September with the RJW 21 Management Martinsville 300. In October, we'll have the Velocity Motorsports All-American 300. Then November brings us the Simrat Market Fall Brawl 250, and finally, a couple of weeks later, it'll be the PVTR, the Privateer Thanksgiving Classic at Southern National Motorsports Park. Let's get right into qualifying action, though, because cars are already rolling out to the cold grid, and let's, well, bring down the B-roll that you're taking a look at here. There are cars headed to the cold grid, if you will, on pit lane. The first group is set to go this evening, and this is a throwback to last season's or last year's qualifying format. This is trying to mock what they do in the real world at the real Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200. It's a group qualifying session, 5 laps apiece. 20-lap LCQ if needed. We will be using that tonight, I believe, to send 2 cars home for a 200-lap race with 50-lap stages along the way. Cautions will count tonight. It's an open setup race with no fast fixes and 2 green-white checkers. The first car on the racetrack, John Ouellette. Hang on. I think it's Jean Ouellette, right? Anyways, John is in the racetrack in car number 8, a really cool looking Team 53 paint scheme, obviously mocking that of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s number 8 late model. And he's the first one to put a time down on the speeder. We'll turn the music down and let you listen to the engines as Ouellette first on the timing chart at a 15.202. That time may hold up. Let's bring up this graphic as well so you can see where these times lie. For John's second lap, it's a little bit faster, just under a 15.2. And so these guys will go out in groups of 5 to 6 cars this evening. Here's Trevor Edwards, also now going fast. Spencer Dickinson now even faster than number 6 in the number 6 Him Ford Mustang. The driver out of Mountain View, North Carolina. Always quick in qualifying, sometimes has to put the race together, though. We've yet to see him win here on Pit Stop TV. We're waiting for that first win for Spencer. Could it be this evening as we visit these late model stock machines, something he's pretty used to here on iRacing.com. A little bit slower that lap. These drivers have 5 laps to turn, and that was his final lap. The first 6 on the racetrack, though: Spencer Dickinson, Trevor Edwards, Eric Tracy, John Ouellette, AJ Rogers, and Devin Rogers. Devin Rogers going to pull that car off the track here in just a moment, as looks like it may be giving them 6 laps potentially because of the pit lane situation. So 6 laps maybe as these guys will end up turning. But Spencer Dickinson, the fastest of the bunch so far. I want to give a thank you to those who help support this series, of course. 1-8 Coffee Company, Patriot Media Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage, Pierce Fleet Service, Race1Wraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Center Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimRatMarket.com, Toxic Media Solutions, Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes, and let's get the other page up here. All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hides, Pride, Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, and Matthews Designs. It's a beautiful sim day here at the virtual South Boston Speedway. 85.6 degrees in the air. It is a little bit toasty, 109 degrees on the track, partly cloudy skies, as you can see. So a little bit warm, but nothing we can't handle, as Grant Brown is one of the first on the racetrack in our second group of qualifiers this evening. Posted a picture of this paint scheme on social media last night saying he might not make the show, but he'll at least look clean doing it, and I got to agree, it's a really good looking late model stock for that number 14 driver out of the Midwest. Fifth quick right out the gate, so he should make tonight's show. Well, there is the consolation, so I might take that one back. Daniel Pope the second, quickest now in car number 11, the In the Zone Racing Ford Mustang. He's now upset by Matt Rolfe himself in car number 0. Always love seeing Matt Rolfe on the racetrack. Of course, the brains and power behind the operation of the Sim Auto Racing Association. It's good to see that this league owner is able to also put down the medal on the racetrack. So far, quickest of the 12 cars that have qualified. RJ Williams also on the racetrack in this group, although he has brought it down the pit lane early. Dylan Bates is also out there in car 91. And let's not forget Keith Jeffrey in car number 88. A beautiful track racer simulation Chevrolet Camaro on track this evening. Gotta love that gloss black with that pure chrome on the side. That is a really cool looking race car. He's worked on this iteration of this paint scheme over the last couple of seasons that we've covered with the Sim Auto Racing Association. It has just gotten better and better, and that lap got better and better as well. He won't move up on the speed chart, but he does go a bit faster in that number 88 Chevrolet Camaro. Want to thank our partners with Pit Stop TV, of course, Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. Looks like Josh Parrish might be one of the cars rolling around to the cold grid. There he is on the back straightaway pit lane in turn number 3. Good looking privateer race parts number 55. Alex Thomas, a newcomer here, came through the spring season where they pitted a bunch of up-and-comers in SARA versus a bunch of the pros, and Alex Thomas was one of the best. I believe he won a bunch of races, might have won the championship. I'm not entirely certain, but has showed a lot of speed so far in that 54 car, and he's bringing his Toyota Camry out this evening and taking an attempt here at this season's national tour. So he'll hit the cold grid. Casey Kelly out there as well. Of course, he got that win at Myrtle Beach the last Super Series season. While Myrtle Beach is a far cry from South Boston, they are both tracks that you race a lot with late model stocks, so maybe this works out for him. Granted, that win was in a super late model. Kieran Church looks like he'll be hitting the racetrack as well in that number 22. There's a look at his machine. Velocity Motorsports, one of this season's partners, aboard that number 22 Chevrolet Camaro. Kyle Meyer going to roll out onto the cold grid as well in the Moe's Mobile Detailing, number 88. A nice nod to Ray Hendrick, I believe, there with the wing design on the door. And Mitch Drunowski, another name that's kind of up and coming, I believe, in the Sim Auto Racing Association, also out here in car number 14 on the cold grid. This group taking a little bit longer to get organized, but we should be sending them in just a moment. Alex Thomas, Josh Parrish, Kyle Meyer, Casey Kelly, Mitch Drunowski, and Kieran Church. The 6 drivers set to roll, it looks like. And let's hit one of our onboards for the first time tonight. Of course, we have a bunch of onboard cameras in all of these race cars, but this is the kind of right front look, right over the right side of the hood. This is within the cockpit, right on the A-pillar. We'll ride on board with Josh Parrish as he hits the racetrack. Of course, this is the primary pit exit that'll lead these drivers into turn number 2. While we have a moment, let's take a look at what's upcoming for us here at Pit Stop TV. Of course, now he'll roll, but this weekend we've got the Majors 24 here on the channel, 9 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, 3 a.m. Eastern on Sunday. And then next week, it's off until the North American Racing League heads out to Mugello in Italy. That'll be their first race of season number 8. On board with Josh Parrish. First flying lap for car 55, and he'll opt to take that wide line in 3 and 4, keep building heat in the tires, and that's what these drivers will do over the course of the session. They'll maybe take a swing, then kind of take a lap to set up for a swing, if that makes sense. This time he dives down to the inside of the corner and will try to make this a lap of record for him. Parrish's first real lap there, a 15.174. That's not bad. And I missed this, but Rolf and Kelly tied on the timing charts at a 15.111 each. They are literally inseparable. Casey Kelly's actually on the racetrack now, so that just happened. So Casey Kelly comes out swinging here in our third group of cars. A really impressive lap time there out of car number 5, and I have a feeling the Kelly brothers are going to be really good today. I think Cody's in the field. He is. He's the reigning winner of this race, defending winner. Look at Kyle Meyer now across the line, a 15.181, a little bit off. But these lap times, as I recall, are pretty close to what these guys ran a year ago in this event. I was watching some of that broadcast back earlier today and just trying to get my bearings about myself. As Kieran Church brings it down the pit lane along with Mitch Drunowski, who goes 7th. Kieran Church goes 13th. Kyle Meyer so far goes 3rd. A strong, strong effort there from driver 88. The next group hitting the cold grid. Parker Traves in car number 60 from the association. Of course, the presenting partner of this evening is the Association South Boston 200. Dallas Pataska looks like he'll be joining us in this group as well. You see the Majors Garage decal there on the back end of that 23 car. He'll be, I'm sure, building some setups for this evening's or this weekend's Majors 24. Let's not forget Justin Crowe rolling out of the racetrack. Josh Cottle in the 13. A lot of red cars in this group, along with Cole Cabry. This is somebody we have to watch. The CB Designs Radical number 54. On board with him here. I love this camera so much. This is the car that we pioneered this camera in. He scrapes the wall there, so he'll go high in 3 and set up a run out of turn 4. Watch this next lap. First lap is kind of a dead lap for Cole. Pataska fast as a 15.087. A big swing there for driver 23. But what's Cabry got up his sleeve? A 15.108, that is blistering, that is quick, and it would have been pole time if not for Dallas's lap. Cole gonna cool it down, slow down a bit. Josh Cottle now, top of the board, a 15.080. We're getting so close to breaking into the 14s, and these guys caught a cloud as well in this session. You can see the racetrack in a lot of shade as Cabry goes high, slowing the car down, cooling the tires. Pataska slowing down. Cottle continues. Crow continues. But that's going to be all she wrote for Josh Cottle, I believe. Parker Traves down in the 8th spot. Justin Crow comes around in 11th. All in all, this is a really fast group. These 5 drivers, all 11th or better. And I have to imagine that is largely due to the cloud they caught, and that's an 0.87. That's going to tie Dallas Pataska. Oh my goodness. 2 cars tying in these first, 4 groups of race cars. Pataska and Cabry tied at a 15.087. Rolf and Kelly tied at a 15.111. Both of these ties within the top 5 cars. Just like a year ago, we're separating these guys down to the 10,000th on the timing charts. That is just insane. Tracy Petter hitting the racetrack in the number 79 Chevrolet SS. Jacob Harbert's going to follow, along with Cody Kelly in the 75, Justin Brooks in the 33, and Joel Smith in the number 24. Joel's got a really interesting story this week. Of course, ran out at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Cookout Summer Shootout Monday and Tuesday night. Unfortunately, wrecked both nights. He wrecked his primary car Monday, unloaded the backup on Tuesday, qualified 3rd, so even better than the primary. Went out in the pro race against drivers like Shane Van Gisbergen, Scott McLaughlin, Jensen Jorgensen, and of course, Bubba Wallace. And Joel, unfortunately, was involved in a crash, I believe, with Lucas Vera. and took that car head-on into the outside wall. He's had to put extensive repairs into that backup car, but no backup here this evening. Joel Smith has qualified 4th so far. Again, a very fast group. 4 of these drivers in the top 5. Justin Brooks, though, the fastest in car 33 at a 15.005, right on the cusp of a 14-second lap time. Jacob Harbert's 3rd at a 15.019. Cody Kelly in 5th so far at a 15.056. Now at 0.23. He's going to pick up, and that's going to move him from 5th. Oh, it changes, no 4.1, so he'll stay 5th, right behind Joel Smith. 4/1000th of a second separating those two. Brooks, can he go faster here? One final swing, maybe. Might have scraped the wall, that was close. And no better from Brooks, or Harberts, or Kelly. Although Kelly seems to be taking one more stab at it. In car 75, here he comes across the line. Can he get there? Oh, for a second, I thought he had a 14. Wow. He goes no faster. A 15.058, that last lap for him. 27 cars have now qualified. We head into our final group, I believe, of 6 in our 33-car field. Alex McCullum, Mr. Win-em-all himself, he'll be in this group along with Alex Thomas, Cameron Hamilton, Chris Horton, Kyle Turzak, and it looks like possibly Darrell Hamlin. He may be in the final group on his own. But McCullum going to hit the racetrack in car number 1. We know how potent he is. Chris Horton out there as well. He's a real late model stock driver from this end of the country, from just across the state line in North Carolina. Kyle Turzak, the driver out of this area in Virginia, races a lot at Dominion. Cameron Hamilton had an unfortunate early exit out of this race a year ago, and there it is, the 14-second lap time. Virginia's own Kyle Turzak, a 14.992. He won last night in the mini stocks. Quickest so far tonight in our late model stock portion. And he's quickest by 12/1000th of a second. I expect that time to stand. Here's Alex Thomas, also just so dang quick in that 54. He's at a 15.011, goes no faster there. Chris Horton going to bring it down off the racetrack, it looks like, in his Lexus. Cameron Hamilton, another association driver, out there in car 10. Let's see what he's got this next lap in car 10. 15.067. Again, these guys are oh so quick. This group, they are all in the top 10. All 6 of these drivers. Or I guess all 5. All 5 of these drivers in the top 10. So the track clearly got faster as the session went on. There you see track temp has come down a degree or two, I think, from the beginning of qualifying down to 104. And that'll do it. Turzak will be the fastest. McCullum will take one more swing, it looks like, and we know he can do it. But will he be able to do it in the Alex McCullum race car number 1? Across the stripe. Oh, man, it was close. But split second literally down to a 15.086. So his 15.038 will stand and keep him 7th. That's almost disappointing for McCullum, as Turzak will be fastest in qualifying. Darrell Hamlin, the single car that has not yet qualified. Looks like that'll be it. Darrell Hamlin not going to turn a time. He will be 33rd, it looks like, of the qualifying order with no time posted. And we're going to go right into the consolation race. This will be sending home, I believe, 3 cars technically. We'll see if Hamlin is able to grid. But this could be a very interesting consolation race. Let's go back to the Whiplash SimCam's race details. and show you this is a 20-lap LCQ. 4 will advance. There will be 2 provisionals, so this will actually send 5. This will cut 5 cars, but then 2 will be given a provisional. So we'll see who gets those provisionals in this race. I would assume Willette would be in running, maybe AJ Rogers or Devin Rogers. They're kind of longtime members, I believe. Grant Brown has been around for a long time as well. So we'll see exactly where those provisionals fall and who needs them. But first up on this evening's Lucky Performance starting grid, RJ Williams in car 21. A beautiful High Rock vodka. I've got that sitting in my freezer. Beautiful High Rock vodka, number 21. Alongside Josh Parrish on the front row. Eric Tracy going to start from 3rd. Kieran Church from 4th. From 5th, it'll be John Willette. Grant Brown from 6th. Then the Rogers, AJ and Devin in row number 4. And finally in row 5 would be Daryl Hamlin, but so far he has not gridded, and maybe something going on for him. And so there were 8. Meaning, technically, you need to be in the top half of this race to advance for sure. And then 2 will be cut, and 2 will be given a provisional. A beautiful look here at the virtual South Boston Speedway, a venue I hold close to home. I've been here for the Cars Tour before, and I've been here for the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 before. That was back in 2022. So I've been here for this exact event that we're emulating here this evening. A quick look at the weather conditions as they've changed slightly. Air temp hasn't really budged, but still partly cloudy, 101 degree track temp. It has cooled down ever so slightly. Not by much, but by just enough to make a bit of a difference on the racetrack. I believe we're coming around to the green flag this time by. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. For the Association South Boston 200, the consolation race is green flag. Coming around to complete lap number 1, RJ Williams out front. Josh Parrish, Eric Tracy, Kieran Church, your top 4 that would currently advance. John Willette, first car out in that Dale Earnhardt Jr. lookalike. Grant Brown trying to get something rolling in this 14 car. He's stuck. Just kind of trying to find a way by. RJ Williams, race leader, went fastest lap 1, and well, lap 2 rather. Grant Brown slams the outside wall there. And Brown now has got trouble behind in the form of AJ Rogers. That number 17 trying to get a move on. A good looking Ford Mustang Dark Horse package on that 17. Contact though between he and Brown. Brown came off the wall there on the back straightaway. And I don't want to say this is going to be a follow in line kind of race, but it's looking that way right now as we are single file through the main portion of the field, really the entirety now. All 8 cars in a line. The trouble is, it's really hard to make passes on fresh tires here at South Boston, especially when you're going full tilt. When you're all trying to accomplish the same thing, nobody's saving. It's really hard to make ground up. Good look here from high above. Devin Rogers giving chase to AJ Rogers in 7th and 8th. This is a one of what we're going to see for 200 laps this evening. Really just a taste of the action that we'll have on the racetrack tonight. But John Willette trying to move his way into the feature event He's got to pass that 22 of Kieran Church. Meanwhile, what a story it would be for Church to be the final driver advancing in through the consolation. One of the newer drivers, I believe, here to the National Tour. I believe that's Blake Massagill chiming in the YouTube chat saying he would have raced, but wheel issues are preventing him from doing so. And that's a real shame because Massagill actually won last night's Legends race in a photo finish with Joel Smith. 1/1000th of a second between those two drivers, matching the closest finish in league history across all divisions, all series. Here comes Grant Brown to the inside of John Roulette. These guys, door to door, wheel to wheel. Really fender to door right now. There we go, door to door. The 14 moves up. He's got some big time right front damage to that machine. AJ Rogers right in tow. He's 7th. These drivers 5th, 6th, and 7th. 8th place is Devin Rogers. They're the 4 slated to be cut, but 2 of them will receive a last-second provisional to start at the tail end of this evening's race. Four laps to go this time by. RJ Williams been out front for every one of them. Contact, beating and banging between these two. That's how close they are to the wall. And there you see Grant Brown go right on by John Willett. AJ Rogers now gets down there in the 17 car. He's going to try and put a pass on Willett. And now you have to wonder if Brown and Rogers could have gotten there to the back end of Church and made a pass if they had not been behind the number 8. Wonder if maybe the 8 car held them up. 2 to go now. Devin Rogers has pulled off the racetrack. Meanwhile, this is the battle for the consolation race win. First white flag of the night is out, presented by Whiplash Simcams. RJ Williams. Josh Parrish. Going to do battle down to turn number 3. Do we see a bump? I don't think so. Josh will happily finish second right behind RJ Williams. They will both transfer to tonight's feature race along with Eric Tracy and Kieran Church. And we'll soon find out who those 2 provisional recipients will be. Grant Brown currently the first car out. Rogers second car out. And now it tells us technically that Consi is going to hit the racetrack. That's because the way the league has set this up, basically this Consi allows them to roll 2 cars that would receive the provisional, and it seems one of them will be John Willett. That's nice to see. Great looking 8 car, and the other is Grant Brown. I kind of figured it might be these 2. That means AJ Rogers, Devin Rogers will both be going home tonight, the 2 Rogers in the field. So these 2 cars will technically roll around for a moment before our 3-minute warm-up session. I mean, we can kind of just sit back and relax and take a look at what's upcoming once again here at Pit Stop TV. This weekend, it's going to be a lot of endurance racing. 12 hours of it, in fact. 12 plus hours, actually. And we will have our very first rain racing coverage here on Pit Stop TV as well. The Majors 24, this year's event being billed as Zeus's Revenge. Basically meaning there's never been rain in the past in one of these 24-hour races for the Majors. And Zeus has finally had enough. There will be rain. There may be a deluge on the racetrack. What we know is it's going to be challenging for every driver in every split. We will have, I believe, second split coverage of that event. We'll have some of the top teams maybe just miss the cut to go to top split. And it's going to be a fantastic race. Last year we had split 4. Some great drivers there as well, but we're excited to move up in the world a little bit and have split number 2 from the way things sound, if everything holds. You're Brown and Willette going around the racetrack. They just need to complete 3 laps to accept tonight's provisional to start at the rear of the field. Let's also take a look back at this season's schedule. This event brought to you by the Association, one of the top teams here in the Sim Auto Racing Association, and one of the top supporters of this season's Impel National Tour schedule. Cody Williams Design will be supporting the Slinger Nationals on July 10th. Then it's the Thronberg Construction Hampton Heat. Then the Sim Auto Racing Association Oxford 250. I think Matt kind of saved that one for himself, being that he is from Maine, of course. Then it's the RJW 21 Management Martinsville 300, followed by the Velocity Motorsports All-American 300 at Nashville. Then the Simrat Market Fall Brawl, a beloved event here in the Sim Auto Racing Association on November 20th. And finally, the Privateer Racing Products Thanksgiving Classic from Southern National Motorsports Park, a new event added to this season's schedule. And there's rumblings that we may see one more added. I'm not going to say anything else beyond that, but maybe you can read between some lines and maybe figure out where we might be headed for that one. There you see cars hitting the racetrack for our warm-up session. This is pretty much what you would see if you were in the stands here. This is right around the TV perch as well. We'll throw up the timing chart and let you see who's fastest in this session. Justin Brooks so far quickest. Alex McCullum, Cole Cabry. You can tell who's going to be quick when they move over to their race setup here in just a few moments. Kyle Terzak, tonight's pole winner, down in 5th. He's still got some speed, but might have others to contend with up front. I want to give a big thank you to our partners here with the Sim Auto Racing Association. Of course, All Pro Lit Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hyde's Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, as well as 1-8 Coffee Company, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pentley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, RaceOneWraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Inter Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimRepMarket.com, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. A big thank you to those who help us here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Simcams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. And there's one shining star, I feel like, between those two lists. Cody Williams Design is a huge partner here of short track racing on the iRacing.com sim. He races himself in wingless sprint cars in the Midwest here in the United States. And he's just a great partner to have on board. We love having Cody help us out with our paint schemes that we use in our promotional material. If we bring this graphic back up, the Mustang GT3 car that you see there, painted there by Cody, and we love the work he does. Just seconds remain, and the time has run out here in our 3-minute warm-up session. So one more look at our Whiplash Simcams race details tells us that this is a 200-lap race now that qualifying and the LCQ are out of the way. 50-lap stages, meaning we have stage breaks at the completion of 50, 100, and 150. Cautions will count this evening. It's an open setup race with no fast figs and 2 green-white checkers if needed. There you see cars headed to the virtual grid. We'll take a look at this evening's Lucky Performance starting grid. On pole, Kyle Terzak in car 15. One of the youngest in this bunch, but clearly the fastest in qualifying this evening. Justin Brooks will start to his outside. Brooks has got a lot of speed as well. And Alex Thomas, a newcomer. What can he do from row number 2 alongside Tracy Petter? Jacob Harberts, Joel Smith, a couple of very talented race car drivers in row number 3. Just ahead of, oh boy, Alex McCullum and Cody Kelly. McCullum just wins so much, and Kelly is the defending winner of this event. Chris Horton out of Eastern North Carolina, not too far from this racetrack. He'll start 9th. Cameron Hamilton will start from 10th, looking to do better than he did a year ago. Josh Cottle, Dallas Pataska, a couple of big names here in the field as well in row number 6. Row 7 gives us Cole Cabry and Matt Rolfe. Row number 8, Casey Kelly, Kyle Meyer. Back to 17th spot, it's Daniel Pope alongside Parker Traves. A deep starting spot there for Parker. And then Spencer Dickinson and Trevor Edwards, he's got some work to do. Both these drivers got some work to do from row number 10. Justin Crowe, Mitch Drunowski from 21st and 22nd. Then Dylan Bates and Keith Jeffrey. R.J. Williams and Josh Parrish from row 13. Finally, Eric Tracy, Kieran Church, the final drivers to advance from tonight's consolation race, ahead of Grant Brown and John Willett, who take this evening's provisionals to start this one from the rear. 30 cars in total, you see them all rolling around the racetrack, building some heat in the tires, building some heat in the brakes, building some heat in the motors. Got to hit those optimal temperatures before we go racing, and the track temp has dropped significantly. About 15 degrees from qualifying, 88-degree track temp still. Actually, now mostly cloudy. Clouds have built here in the virtual South Boston, Virginia. And here we go, just like that, into the restart zone. We are racing. It's the Association South Boston 200, and it's green. A great look at the entire field rolling by our speed shots across the racetrack. Love these shots so much. Harbert's up to 3rd, hard charging here early in this race. He's going to bring McCullum along with, who drops into 4th spot. Chris Horton going to follow through. He moves into 5th. Single file now through the entire top 20 or so. There's the first side-by-side. Spencer Dickinson to the inside of Dallas Pataska. And just ahead, it's Daniel Pope and Joel Smith, the first 2 cars that are side-by-side on the racetrack now, Dickinson and Smith. Justin Brooks goes purple, 15.221. Brooks runs, oh boy, where does he run? Oh, he's leading. Oh, whoa, we missed a lead change. I'm so sorry, folks. Kyle Terzak slips out of the 3rd spot. Trying to show some more of the field, and Terzak slips up. Brooks takes over. Harbert's now 2nd. Big change at the front of the field, and a couple of cars are way off pace. R.J. Williams and Trevor Edwards, nearly a lap down off rip. It is lap number 7, and you can see the center punch of that number 21 car. He has got a lot of front-end damage that you'll need to nurse over the course of this event. Trevor Edwards right behind him goes fastest. Oh, my. The Edwards inflatables, 32. Needs to inflate his position, or I guess deflate his position, get it down to a smaller number, move up the racetrack, I suppose. Because they are just ahead of our race leaders. And if you watched last year's race, you'll know a couple of cars went a lap down early. They sandbagged in this first stage to save their tires. This is a 0-tire event, no change tires for these drivers as Terzak slips up more. McCullum gets by him, and Terzak slams the outside while he'll fall in behind Chris Horton now. So Kyle Terzak, oh so promising in qualifying, but slipping up majorly here in the first 10 laps of stage number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, I never thought I'd have to say this, but as I am solo broadcasting tonight, I may go quiet for a couple of laps at a few different times throughout the broadcast. I had my wisdom teeth pulled a little over a week ago, a week and a day ago. And I felt good all day today, really just nursing some ibuprofen at this point. But talking this much for the last 50 minutes, I can already feel my jaw aching. And I could feel, not to get too into it, but I could feel the holes where the teeth came out of. And they're starting to smart a little bit. But hey, it's lap 15 of 200, very early in this race. And this is the same look as we saw a year ago. Drivers got single file. You had a few push the issue to get out front. And everybody else kind of sit back and save their stuff. There you see Dickinson allowing Pataska to go by. Pataska into 14th position, right behind Daniel Pope in 13th. And Pope right now is a highlight amongst the field. We did not see him in the National Tour, a season ago, a year ago. But there he is in car number 11. And actually, there he was. There he's back from the In the Zone racing crew. Don't know much about him. We know he's a newcomer as far as this particular series goes, and he's holding his own. 13th spot. Another newcomer to the field, of course, Tracy Petter, who's up in 7th, even doing better. The Open Trailer Mafia number 79 car looks good so far tonight. And let's not forget Alex Thomas, running 6th, right behind Kyle Terzak. Thomas and Petter both displaying their RaceEPI.com partnerships on their cars. That is a potent group when it comes to short track racing. That's one thing I know. We've worked very closely with Tyler Payne and RaceEPI in the past, but they are one talented group over there, putting together some very good racing setups. They're not the only ones, of course. A lot of talented groups here on the sim, but they're one that we've worked very closely with in the past and very much appreciate anytime we see one of their cars doing well. In case you're curious, it's kind of a split decision, it seems like, as far as what gear these drivers use. We saw a lot of 4th gear in qualifying, maybe to max out on revs, not sure. We see some 4th gear here from McCullum, but 3rd gear from Harbert. So, split decision. Do you run a different gear stack to run in 3rd and have less shifting on restarts and maybe better power band potentially, or do you stick with 4 gears, as McCullum has done here this evening? In the real world, I can tell you they're going to run 4 gears most of the time. If not always. But here in iRacing, there's a few more adjustments you can make. You can swap gears out in an instant. It's not like completely going underneath the rear end and taking the differential apart, but that allows you to tinker with more things more quickly and find the right thing for you a lot more easily here versus in the real world where it takes the entire rear end apart to, not the entire rear end apart, but it takes a significant amount more work. Chris Horton doing some linking there in 4th spot. Terzak continues to slip up. He's still in 5th, but well behind the race leader, 2.5 seconds now. And if we look from the scenic view here, I mean, you can see this field is spread out across the entire racetrack. There's very little dead racetrack in this field right now. Everybody's spread out. So you'll have to bear with me here for just a second. We lost control of the cameras. So manually get back over to a camera we can use. Here's the blimp. We'll roll with this for a moment and watch our leaders as we wait on ATVO to come back to us. And there you see McCullum going to take the outside lane around Jacob Harberts. That's for 2nd. Chris Horton looks to do the same. We'll keep watching the broadcast or keep watching the action on the racetrack amongst the top 4 as I work to rectify the graphics issue in the background. So you won't miss anything between these 4 and the back end of the field as well, as Edwards has caught up to the back end of the field. Looks like Parker Traves is running in dead last, which is just so uncharacteristic. Alright, graphics coming back to me, bear with me. This is an issue I thought we'd eradicated. We brought on some partners this year, and it allowed us to make some upgrades behind the scenes, but apparently having trouble with it this evening as we watch our leaders attack through turns 3 and 4. Let's bring those graphics back up. Justin Brooks running up in the top spot. Alex McCullum in second. You see Horton third, Harbert's fourth. Harbert's is starting to fall off. Might be saving his stuff. Remember, this is a 50-lap stage, so these guys are coming up quickly on the end of stage number 1. As Brooks looks at the back end of Parker Traves. There's Traves in the number 60. He's got some left front damage, so it almost looks like he might have gotten put into the inside wall at some point, which would explain why he's off pace. The left front even looks like it might be damaged. The wheel itself, the suspension components there. He's one of those drivers opting to use third gear this evening in his setup, and we'll see how much slack he's cut by Justin Brooks, because Brooks may want to cut him slack just to be nice, but he really can't afford to do so because McCullum is on his back bumper pretty closely, a car length or so between them right now, maybe 2. And McCullum will absolutely be cutthroat with Brooks if he needs to be, and will take any opportunity he can to get by. By the way, 30 of the best late model racers on the sim, and it shows. No caution yet through 40 laps. Usually you enter a South Boston race on the iRacing.com sim, and it can be a bloodbath. It's just so tight. The racing line kind of narrows up out of each corner. It varies a lot in the corners. It's a really tricky racetrack, honestly. A lot of finesse is required. A lot of nuance to it. But this group makes it look so easy sometimes. Of these cars at the back of the field that are about to go a lap down, Parker Traves is the first of them. He runs in 30th. Trevor Edwards runs just ahead in 29th. And beyond him, you find RJ Williams in 28th, Kieran Church in 27th, Josh Parrish in 26th, Dylan Bates in 25th, Eric Tracy 24th rather, Mitch Drunowski 23rd, Justin Crow in the 22nd spot, and John Willett in the 21st spot. Now, if I recall correctly, this evening's stage winners will receive, I believe, a bonus point into this season's brand new Virginia Triple Crown. For more information on that, head to the Sim Racing Association social media channels. Race SARA on Instagram and X, or Sim Auto Racing Association on Facebook, and all details are posted there. Justin Brooks under fire now from Alex McCullum. He's going to dive low. That's exactly what McCullum does. Looks for the first weakness, moves right on by. Still side by side though, as there's a roadblock in front of him. 3 laps to go, this time by for the ending of stage number 1. Traves and Edwards side by side, about to go a lap down. That's one way to keep from going a lap down, just be a roadblock as McCullum gets into, oh my gosh. McCullum gets into Brooks. That nearly hooked Edwards and Brooks. Traves and Edwards back side by side. They're trying to help each other, I think, and prevent from losing this lap. You know, theoretically, they've saved their stuff, but I think Edwards still has the fastest lap of the race as we take 1 to go here in stage 1. Still side by side, just ahead and out of turn number 4. We'll complete stage number 1 here in the Association South Boston 200. It might have been by design, but along with awarding the stage winner graphic here to Justin Brooks, We'll attempt to dial him up, and we'll also give an award, if you will, to two drivers. The lucky break of the day just might have come out already for Trevor Edwards and for Parker Traves, as they stay on the lead lap, 29th and 30th. So again, it may have been by design to get side-by-side like that, but that might be their lucky break of the day, as some cars will move to the inside. I believe this is their chance to pit. I don't think we're seeing choosing yet. And yeah, these drivers will dive into their pit boxes. We'll see what service they take. Might have just been fuel. Let's dial up our Stage 1 winner this evening, something we've rarely been able to do with the Sim Auto Racing Association. Justin, fantastic first stage there for you. How worried were you when Alex about hooked you both?
Well, I thought he'd be a little smarter there. I don't know what he was doing there, but thankfully he backed out of it a little bit and kept us from wrecking. But trying to save and manage my tires, keep it up front, keep track position here. Got a really solid piece and just got to keep the fenders on. I think we got a shot at winning this thing.
The name of the game last year was tire saving. How much saving were you able to do that stint?
Oh, a ton. Like, I mean, I did a 100-lap run practicing earlier, and I had really good tires when I did it, and I was 2/10 a lot off the pace of that. And so, I mean, we're saving a ton. I honestly felt like we were saving too much, so I think I'll be good.
Sounds good. And honestly, I don't recall, were you in the association or the shop down there in Discord?
The association.
All right. Best of luck.
Thank you, buddy.
That's Justin Brooks. He will be leading us back to the green here for the beginning of stage number 2. A few laps written off the board with the stage ending and stage beginning, if you will. And you see the result of the choose. Brooks chooses outside. McCollum chooses inside. Terzak chooses bottom. Kelly chooses bottom. Horton and Harbert's up top. Into the restart zone this time by. Green flag is back in the air. Watching from the fan cam, enjoy these sights and sounds. Such a good look around the racetrack. Some of the fan positions that can be had. That was a lot of fans' heads there on the front straightaway. Anyways, Chris Horton up to the second spot. Alex McCollum third. Harbert's fourth. Cottle fifth. Single file now through the majority of the field. First side-by-side is here, Petter and Pope. Side-by-side for 10th position. This is deep in the field-ish. And Pope will draw alongside Hamilton. I go back to last year's running of this event. Hamilton had an early exit, connection difficulties and connection issues to that number 10 car. Dropped out of the race early. But he's gotten so much better in a year's time. He won a Super Series race last season, I believe at Hickory Motor Speedway. He's become one of the forces to be reckoned with on any given week here in the Sim Auto Racing Association. Good to see him here around the top 10 tonight. Dallas Pataska trying to move his way up, and will move into the 10th spot for now. Pataska leaving that 10 car. There's us. Whoa, crashing somewhere. There goes Pope. First caution of the night. A caution-free first stage, and the first one comes out for Daniel Pope. We'll take our first replay of the race. I think this has something to do with Pataska going by Hamilton. I wonder if Pataska tried to dive there on the 11 car and got into him. And sure enough, we were on board with Pataska as it happened. he just dove a little bit into turn 3 and caught the back end of that 11 car. I mean, that's so easy to do. I talked about South Boston races often being bloodbaths, and this is why. It's just so close quarters and so easy with what you have to do to run the corner differently at times. So easy to get into the back of somebody, and oh my goodness, what a miss for Cameron Hamilton. He got a piece of Daniel Pope as he spun. There's 11 going around, gets a piece of him, and then he's going to nearly hit that inside tire pad right there. Threads the needle between the tires and Petter. Several cars going to hit the pit lane. That, though, I believe was the choose as McCullum goes low. So a quickie caution here. First caution of the night. We can at least have the benefit of not needing to unlap anybody, so this caution can happen a little bit faster. And a big thank you goes out to Impel Motorsports as well. As we go green here, keep in mind Impel Motorsports is your one-stop shop for both real-world racing and sim racing gear. We'll talk more about them as this season goes on, but whether you're turning laps at the local speedway or looking for top-tier sim racing gear to help you sharpen your skills off the track, Impel Motorsports is committed to giving racers the edge they need to compete no matter the surface. Learn more at impelmotorsports.com. Again, that is impelmotorsports.com. Thank you all for watching this far. Make sure to follow us on social media, all across the social media landscape. Here we go for the beginning of the rest of stage number 2. Green flag back in the air at South Boston. Chris Horton, a great restart on the outside of Harbert's, trying to get clear down, and he will just, not by much. Harbert's now gets stacked up. Here comes Josh Cottle and last year's winner, Cody Kelly. It was such a significant win. It put Kelly on our map last year as a threat to win races. I believe he followed up with a Super Series win later on in the year. I know Casey did. Those two brothers out of South Carolina are just so potent. And when it comes to these late model stocks, I think Cody has an edge versus Casey. Casey might be a little better in the Super. Regardless, I feel like, you know, walking the virtual garage today, all eyes had to be on that 75 car. And there you go, pass made by the Cottle chassis, number 13 of Josh Cottle. Good to see him having a good showing so far. I haven't seen much of him through the first stage. He's one of those drivers that when it comes to the Super Series, you got to consider him for a run at the championship. Always good on the bigger tracks in the series. But even on these tighter tracks, watch out for car 13. He's 4th now after starting 11th. Up 7 spots. And as we're already near the completion of stage number 2, about halfway in the stage now. For side-by-side, it looks like it's Daniel Thomas and Dallas Pataska. Pataska did not go to the rear for that caution caused. I wonder how that's going to affect things post-race. Pataska, by the way, the winner of the Major Series World 600 in the Americas region. So he knows how to get it done here on the ovals. Knows how to get a good setup built. It was so fast in qualifying. Right now he's mired back here at the back of the top 10 as Spencer Dickinson has a slide. He'll fall back to 28th spot. Trevor Edwards is up a significant amount of ground after running dead last for a significant portion of stage 1. He is up to 22nd spot, so the recovery drive really begins now. I mean, he's almost back to where he started at 20th. The only way to get those spots back is to start from the back of the field, I guess. And He's done a great job so far getting through a significant portion of this field. Now working the back end of Kyle Meyer, the inside rather of Kyle Meyer. Those are teammates. Mitch Drunowski now goes by in that 14 car. And Pope is going to follow suit. Meyer slipping and sliding back now to the 24th position ahead of Josh Parrish. And Parrish has got company from Parker Traves. On board with Parker Traves in car number 60. I believe he won, I think it was the second ever Sim Model Racing Association broadcast we carried. That was at New Smyrna back in 2024 for the Super Series. As John Roulette and Matt Rolfe go side by side. This is for 14th, so back up in the field a little bit. Right behind Joel Smith. Rolfe will get the spot for now. And draw alongside the 24 of Joel Smith. Well, pretty much just past that 24, like he's standing still. That looked really easy. That looked like two different kinds of cars on the racetrack, the way Matt was able to pass Joel so quickly. And John Roulette, what about this story? Has to take a provisional, starts dead last. He's passed half the field from 30th up to 15th. The Team53Racing.com, Chevrolet Camaro, I believe Impel Motorsports is one of their sponsors. That is huge. Great job so far by John Roulette. Up to the top three, you can see lap cars in the distance. We ride on board here with Chris Horton. He's running a fourth gear setup. And he rides here right behind the AMRC Alex McCollum race car. Number 1. You know, something I've noticed, and I've seen some social media attention about it as well. These late model stock cars, while you can't get the same twisting and flaring as you see in the real world, they seem to have a little more body twist and characteristic than the super late model. And maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but visually these cars look just a little bit more twisted up on the sides than a super late model. I feel like the Supers are a lot more flat, kind of just like a wedge. These late model stocks, a little bit different, maybe a little closer to what you see on, well, what you used to see on Sundays now would see on a Saturday in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Your top three remain unchanged since the restart. Brooks, McCullum, Horton. Brooks is at all but, I think, one lap maybe in this race. All but a few. McCullum, it seems, has led 3 as we've got 90 to complete, now 91. And, you know, in that little skirmish that McCullum, Brooks, and Edwards had, you can see there's just a little bit of damage on that left front of the 33 car. When he goes down the backstretch, he'll be able to circle it maybe. Right there. You can't, I mean, it's not much, but there is just a little bit of a dent. Inside of 10 to go here in stage number 2. And there we go for second. Horton dives down to the inside of McCullum. Thinks better of it at that point. Falls back in behind. And the conversation last year was, again, these guys only have the one set of tires all race long. No changes allowed. No changes available. You see that relatively often. I think it was perpetuated mostly by COVID and the pandemic and the shortages that were caused. The Cars Tour, I mean, I was covering the Cars Tour with Cars Tour TV and Pit Road TV at the time, and I recall it starkly. Nobody had tires. Tracks were digging for tires, and you were blessed if Hoosier sent you a shipment. As McCullum pulls off almost and allows Horton to go by there. Horton scrapes the outside wall to do it. But I feel like that really tightened things up. I feel like tires were relatively abundant before the pandemic. The supply dried up during the pandemic. And since then, it has been a lot of zero-tire or two-tire racing across the Southeast, at least, and I think most of the country. These long races, and I love that we're seeing a little bit of that here in the sim. Even I know we could have unlimited tires if we wanted, but these guys, no change tires tonight, definitely affecting the way they race as the leaders have caught the back end of the field, and stage 2 goes complete. Once again, your stage winner is Justin Brooks. Only one caution so far tonight, a very impressive showing by this field. Of course, it says 3 cautions. Only 1 caution for cause. 2 stage yellows so far. So drivers were asked to connect to Discord tonight so we could try and talk to them at different times. And neither 2nd, 3rd, 4th are in the Discord. Top driver that is in here would be Josh Cottle, but we're going to dive one spot deeper and bring in Cody Kelly quickly. And we'll try and keep this quick with you, Cody, but of course, last year's winner of the South Boston 200 looks like he'll choose bottom, it looks like. That'll be, I think, 4th in line, maybe. How's the car feel? Obviously, you're up to 6th spot. Must feel decent, at least.
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I fell a little bit further back than I wanted to, so I made some spots up. Hopefully the tires will still be with me here at the end, and I can make a few more spots up right here and get up there and battle for the win with Justin.
What is it about this particular combo, late model stock South Boston, that you like, that you were able to win with last year?
Well, the track just fits me really well. I've been racing on here a long time at this track, and I just got the line down pat.
Well, looks like we're going green and we'll be back down, but best of luck, Cody.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That's Cody Kelly racing with the association here this evening. Around 2 of the restart zone. This caution has been extended by 1 lap. So one more chance for these guys to sit and think about how they want to begin this second half of this race. And you can watch or you can go to the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 at South Boston Speedway this month, I believe next weekend, if memory serves correct. Just ahead of the July 4th weekend here in the United States. I certainly recommend heading out to South Boston Speedway. It is worth it. Back around to the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. We are halfway down, halfway to go. It was a good hole shot that time from Alex McCollum. He got to the inside there of Justin Brooks, but couldn't do anything when he got there. So he dives back in behind in 2nd place. And Cody Kelly, who we just spoke with, running the outside lane. He's in 6th, but here comes Kyle Terzak. I know I said a lot in the opening stage that Terzak was slipping, dropping down the order, and he was. But maybe that was by design, as he's up into the top 10 still. He's actually as low as he's been, so he's been kind of riding, it looks like, in 7th spot, but he was challenging there for a moment on Cottle and Kelly. And here comes Casey Kelly. The 2 Kellys. I told you they would be a force to be reckoned with this evening. Casey Kelly's got Alex Thomas and Matt Rolfe on his back bumper. Joel Smith down to 17th spot. Seems maybe that 24 car is struggling here tonight. Started up in 6th. A great qualifying effort, but much like his runs at Cookout Summer Shootout earlier this week, things just turning sour as the day goes. But still a lot of racing to go, a lot of time left. He can get back up on the saddle and get after it as you see Grant Brown just ahead. Brown, wow, I did not expect to see this. talking on social media about how he didn't think he'd make the race. I said in qualifying he would just be happy to show up and look clean, and that's what he's done so far. But he's in the top half of the field after starting 29th. John Millette was up here earlier in stage number 2, but has fallen back as we work through stage 3. Millette back to the 23rd spot. Back here with Parker Traves and Trevor Edwards. Oh, big stack up Daniel Pope, Dallas Pataska. The same 2 cars that were involved in our first caution for cause bring out the second caution for cause. This did not look good. One car went up in the air briefly. I believe that was Pope. He's trying to get reversed, and he will lose a lap doing so. Well, let's take a second to just kind of review timing and scoring, look at how things were looking across the field, and in that time, everything went awry for these couple of drivers. Pope is racing with Joel Smith. And off the corner, Joel just tracks out, got into Pope, and spun the 11 around. Pataska takes the big hit. RJ Williams hits the wall trying to get by it. Really no room there to do so. That 23 car took a massive hit. Here's the onboard. Oh, right there. That's the big hit. That's likely going to knock some suspension out. It actually drove away okay. He might be all right. Let's get one more look at it. This from high above. Watch here off the corner. Smith just tracked out, and Drunowski got a big hit out of that. Willett got right on by. Most of the field back there doing a fantastic job to miss it all and keep on moving as the choose is going to put Brooks on top of Horton. It looks like a lot of cars actually choosing to go high. The bottom feeders are having to catch up. This is going to open the door for Cody Kelly to move up to 3rd spot. Turzak up to 6th. They stacked up top. Brooks, McCullum, Herberts, and Cottle. I feel like those are some of the veterans here in the series. And Horton, Kelly's certainly a veteran. Horton, I think, is as well. But those guys having to stack up down low. Trying to find some track position as we should get and do get the 1 green signal. Here we go, back around to the restart zone. Looking for that green signal from Barney the Flagman as the sun sets in the distance. Green flag is out once again in the Association 200. Here comes the entire field rolling right at us. All 30 cars still in a cohesive. There's a lot more battling happening here on this restart. Cody Kelly, Alex McCollum, side by side, wheel to wheel. Turzak dies on Harberts. Justin Brooks, fastest, a 15.090. These race setups getting narrowly close to that 14-second margin. Now about halfway through stage number 3. Look at them all spread out across turn 2. A great look here. Look at that drone shot on the front stretch now through turns 1 and 2. Kelly working the inside. McCullum outside. Usually McCullum does the working up in the front of this field, but he's been dispatched to that third spot. Not really sure how Horton got by him, other than a whole shot on the restart. I love this look from the building there in turn 1 at South Boston. I've been placed there as a cam up before. I've also been placed here in turn 3 on a lift. So both of these angles very much home to me, and great angles here at South Boston. Great looks. Nose to tail racing in the top 3, side by side at 4th spot. Cody Kelly has fallen back a little bit, now alongside Jacob Harberts, and now we get back side by side for 2nd for a moment. Hard to leave this top 5, but let's do so for a moment. Casey Kelly, Matt Rolfe, Alex Thomas back here to complete the top 10. First side by side behind the leaders would be Joel Smith and Tracy Petter. Parker Trains is starting to move up through the field. He's now 17th spot in that number 60. He's to the inside of Mitch Drunowski. And that's about it for side-by-side to the rest of the field. A lot of these guys, well, there's a little more. Kyle Meyer, John Willett, Dallas Pataska, Eric Tracy. And that's about it all the way through Kieran Church. Daniel Pope is 1 lap down. He's the only car 1 lap down so far in this race. Looking to get that lap back. Up front, Justin Brooks still leads the single file top 3. First side-by-side now would be Cody Kelly and Josh Cottle. It's about to be go time. You can kind of sit around and save these first 3 stages, but you've got to have enough left in the tank, in the tires, to go for it here in stage number 4. When we cross over that last stage break, there's just no guarantee that you get a caution. And look at the weather conditions. Still high 90s in the track temp, but that air temp is sinking down into the lower 80s, nearly down to 80 degrees. It's going to make better power in the engines. So better power, a little more grip on the racetrack as the temp's cool. Making for a great race here tonight. It has been all Justin Brooks, but right now the show is for the 5th spot. Cottle and Kelly going back and forth, trading paint. Terzak watches on, nearly working on the bumper there of Josh Cottle. That is a great view. I love using this camera at times. Such a unique perspective right down on the racetrack, on the splitter of these cars. That's what you just put it more like a valence, I guess. But there you see the 13 just about gets clear. Oh, contact there. Terzak about got the right rear of Kelly. And McCullum just keeps toying with that 42 car. He keeps getting alongside Horton for a moment and then falls back in behind him. Oh, so close. There you see the 2 battles within the top 10. Our eyes now shifting up to the battle for 2nd. Horton and McCullum. McCullum shifts down low a little bit on the straightaway. Maybe a bump between those 2 cars. Another little tap. And Terzak is starting to work that outside lane right behind these guys. He's starting to move forward. It's just so tight off these corners. The bottom lane tightens up and tracks right out to the outside lane. The outside lane gets that run. Everything just tightens right up. Oh, contact there again. 5 to go this time in stage 3. It has been the Justin Brooks show tonight. He continues to lead, and that's the look back from his bumper. Cole Cabry, Super Series champion, rides back here in the 11th spot. Started 13th, was as low as 26th. He's been around 20th position much of this race. Has yet to crack into the top 10, really, aside from early in this event, and there he'll do it again. Works on Matt Rolfe, has the position for now. And he will tick across the line with a top 10 spot now. So welcome Cole Cabry to the top 10 here at South Boston Speedway. McCullum has slipped up, falls into 4th. Now has fire from Terzak. Horton gets the wall. 2 to go in stage number 3. Coming around to the final lap of stage 3, Justin Brooks continues to lead. He works out nearly a second advantage now over these two. Chris Horton, Jacob Harberts. Harberts is going to make this pass at the very last second of stage 3. Working that bottom lane. Stage 3 will end. Harberts just gets Horton. Once again, Justin Brooks is your stage winner. And here in this final stage, I think we saw realistically what was our lucky break of the day, brought to you by Lucky Performance. But here in this final stage, we will have to nominate 4 drivers for driver of the day, and I guarantee you, since I'm making the picks today alone, I guarantee you Justin Brooks will be one of them. I'd love to hear your case for the 3 other drivers, but hard to say Brooks does not deserve one of those spots. Let's dive deep in this field so far and drop down to the 18th spot for this next interview. We'll grab none other than Trevor Edwards, who rides in the 18th spot right now. The 32 car, though, Trevor, you were about dead last in stage 1. What happened there early, and how have you worked your way back?
Kind of just being patient, trying to save tire because it's not looking so hot right now for us. Just trying to figure this out. That getting spun on lap 5 kind of put us behind the 8 ball a ton, and then I seen what the tires look like at the 50 lap break when I pitted just to look at them. So hopefully some guys fall off in front of us. I've been saving, so we'll see.
Yeah, it was clear something happened, but caution for it early. You've regrouped decently so far, but how do you attack 50 more laps, I guess 45 more laps here this deep in the field?
We're going to have 50 qualifying laps right here and see if we make it to the end.
Fair enough, Trevor. Best of luck here. We'll be watching for you.
Thanks, buddy.
That's Trevor Edwards from the shop. He'll be restarting about 20th spot now, as Justin Brooks leads us around to one more caution lap. Horton will choose bottom. You see McCullum has been backed up as low as he's been about all race. He's now 8th for this restart. It'll be Brooks leading, then Horton on the inside. Then technically it'll be Terzak, I think. No, it'll be Kelly down low. Harbert's up top. Then it looks like Hamilton down low. Yeah, Hamilton down low, then Terzak up top. Cole Cabry down low, and will technically be 7th on the restart. Alex McCullum up top. And then Matt Rolfe and Casey Kelly at the back end of the top 10. Green flag is back out. We're racing once again. Now in stage 4 of the Association South Boston 200. One lap complete under green. Only 2 cautions for cars. This is where it goes awry, though. Chris Horton, 3 wide, in the middle. Cody Kelly splits him. Terzak on the outside. Not sure how Horton got shoved up there, but I think there might have been some bumper contact, and there's some more. McCullum now puts him 3 wide. McCullum, though, the meat of the sandwich. Cabry down low, Horton up top. That's contact. Don't know how they keep getting through this. And Horton might have just alt-F forward. I think he did. That sucks. You do not like to see that. Not under green. You're still top 10, man. Your race is not over. I don't like that one bit. I will always be critical of a rage quit, especially live like that. That just sucks to see. Chris ran such a good race to this point. But now Harberts takes over at second, Turzak third. And they're crashing behind. Alex McCullum is involved in it. He is the main source of this. Oh no! Caution number 3 for cause, and that number 1 is done. Oh, it's junk. About hits the inside wall, and they're trying to get to pit lane. That will be all she wrote for that number 1 car. He is going to be out of this thing. And truthfully, from the little preview I got there, he might have been okay until the very last impact. Here's the replay. Alex McCullum just got loose. Oh my gosh. Jeffrey gets him, and that hit right there, and that's going to take out Grant Brown. That was the doozy. I think he got free on his own. I do not think Hasey Kelly hit him. Cottle gets the wall hard. Oh my goodness, Grant Brown. Let's watch this back. This is a lap prior. And there you see Kelly did get into him that time. But I don't think Casey got him at all into turn 1 when he spun. Here's the onboard with Casey Kelly. This will show a decent view. No, there's plenty of space. Alex just got free. That is so rare to see out of Alex McCullum in that one program. Oh my goodness, that last hit though. He was okay until that last hit. Let's take a slow-mo here. He's just going to break free. Right there, that rear end comes around. He might have been, I can't tell if that's liftoff oversteer or if that's getting back to power. I really can't tell. Gets tapped by the 5, mostly by the 13. That spins him most of the way around. Jeffrey gets him too. Nowhere to go for the 88 car, but then Grant Brown comes in late. Just smashes into that one car, and that is the one that did the damage. You can see the right rear is completely towed out after that. That begs the question, what was going on with Grant Brown? How did he hit him that late? Gonna have to find Grant. Here's the onboard. The Eagle Performance number 14 car was just happy to make the show. Racing with the other 14 of Drunowski, and he's gonna zig down low and then gasses up, thinks it's clear, and boom! Smash. And we go back green. It happened quick. That's the restart, though. We're back racing here in the Association South Boston 200. Kyle Turzak down to the inside. Jacob Harbert's outside. Turzak will clear for second. Not by much, but he gets it. Cody Kelly now down low. Here comes Cole Cabry. He has fought his way through this entire field. Was as low as 26th at one point. This is the stuff he does. Justin Brooks, though, he is getting on out of Dodge. He's led this entire race. Trying to get out of here as R.J. Williams has a trouble. He gets left up top, and he's got a lot of damage now. Harberts and Kelly side by side for third spot. Cole Cabry trying to pick a right lane. Can't tell which of these two is going to go further than the other. .30 laps to go, now 29. You hear these guys are still hitting the chip this late in the race. They have all taken very good care of their tires. Despite leading this race, I think Brooks is in the best spot. So far, I have to nominate Justin Brooks for driver of the day, and so if you're new to how this works, I'll nominate 4 drivers, and you guys on YouTube will vote for who you believe deserves that honor. I have to nominate Justin Brooks. He's just led so much in this race, all but 3 laps or so. I simply can't look past him, and I also can't look past Cole Cabrey. I'll make that pick on the fly here. From 26th up to 5th. And approaching 4th as he works on Cody Kelly. Let's go to positions gained here on the ticker and show you how many positions these drivers all gained since the start of the race. A highlight in the top 10 has to be Mitch Drunowski, up 12 spots into the top 10. That'll be another driver I pick, I think. And I think, despite losing the lead early in this race, I think I'll take Kyle Terzak, as Josh Paris has got a problem. Might be blinking out of the server. He might have just blinked out of existence. Cabrey, some contact there with the Kelly brothers. That's what we're going to do. We're going to do Justin Brooks, Cole Cabrey, Mitch Drunowski, and Kyle Terzak. Those are your 4 driver of the day options. And that's 3 wide. That ain't going to work, boys. Hang on to it. What a catch. That was like 4 saves in a row. And the sun is going down on my side of town tonight. It is getting dark here in South Boston. Cameron Hamilton down to the inside, or on the outside rather. Cabrey dives back to the inside. He gets by Hamilton. Not so fast, says Cameron Hamilton. He's going to dive right back to the inside of Cole Cabrey and bring him the fight down the back straightaway. 3 wide now. Harbert's up top. Harbert's just starting to sink. I think he's used this stuff up. That's really the only reason I had to overlook him for driver of the day. He's been great today, but I think just is lacking a little bit. So Justin Brooks, Cole Cabrey, an option for driver of the day, as well as the 15 of Kyle Terzak. And there is a caution. The other option for driver of the day, Mitch Drunowski. Caution in the back of the field. Grant Brown turned around, and he's got Eric Tracy with him. Dallas Pataska and Justin Crow. So while we were talking driver of the day, we had a bit of a mess back here with Grant Brown. Yeah, it looks like I might actually start with Pataska potentially. Maybe even Tracy. Yeah, I started with Tracy and Crow actually. Oh my goodness. Pataska and Brown spun into that. They were trying to miss it. They locked up the rears and spun right around. As has been so useful tonight on these replays, the blimp cam. Watch that 66 of Eric Tracy. He's going to get a tap from Justin Crow, who just dives inexplicably to the inside there. The 54 makes contact. Pataska spins into it. Pope just barely misses, and Kieran Church a great miss as well as Brown spun in front of him. We'll get one more look. This will be from Dallas Pataska with the onboard. And then we'll come back to live picture and catch the restart with just over 10 laps to go. Watch this. They're going to spin up ahead, and he just locks him down and right around. Contact. Coming around, getting to the green flag in just a moment. There's the choose. Terzak goes low. He'll restart on the front row with Justin Brooks. The next driver to choose bottom is Cole Cabrey. That's a big move from Cabrey. Looks like, is that Petter down there? Tracy Petter. Going to choose bottom and move all the way up to the top 5 nearly. That choose rule, it was introduced some time ago. in the SoBo Racing Association has just reshaped these races. We didn't have that a year ago for the previous South Boston 200. We have it here tonight. It has just completely reshaped the way these races take place, especially late here when that choice makes that much more of a difference. We invite you to follow along on social media. Get race day alerts and so much more. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and X. We also broadcast these races to Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Here we go. Exactly 10 laps to go when the green flag drops. Terzak getting Brooks a little bit, getting in his head. Green flag in the air. Terzak jumped it. Will that restart stand with no penalty? Kyle Terzak on the inside. He's going to fall back now down the front stretch. Here comes Cole Cabry. A swing out of the 54 car. Terzak at the racetrack, and caution's going to save him. Matt Rolfe wadded up with Jacob Harberts. Oh, that started up ahead with Drunowski and Harberts, it looks like. That's a shame. Drunowski, one of our Driver of the Day nominees. He restarted about the 12th spot right behind Harberts. Is up so many positions, but right here. And there were 3 wide with Traves down low. And it looks like the dive into 1 is what's going to get him. Actually, Bates got Harberts, and Smith got Drunowski in the checkup. And Rolfe had nowhere to go. On board with Matt Rolfe, you see it all transpire, and he went up high and then really ran out of space. So here we go. Potential final restart of the night. One more chance for this entire field to make a heavy, heavy choice out there. What lane do you want? It'll happen right here. Brooks will go high. Terzak high. Terzak high. Cabry swerves at the last second. Just gets in front of Cody Kelly. That is a clutch choice out of Cole Cabry with how good that car rotates. And dives down and points down to the bottom. I would interview him, but at this point it would be more like a commentator's curse, I feel like. You see McCollum and Harberts in the pit lane. Bad start to their National Tour seasons. They'll each be out of this race early. A handful of votes so far in the Driver of the Day vote. Get your votes in. We've only got 4 laps to go. If you're watching here, you've still got a chance to make a choice. This front row, the top 3 are all still in it. Here we go. Into the restart zone. Brooks, Cabry jumps, checks up, green flag, back in the air, 4 to go. That's a decisive move there out of Justin Brooks. He gets down in line. That could have just won Justin Brooks the race if we go green from here. 3 laps to go at South Boston. Cody Kelly, Kyle Terzak side by side. Casey Kelly gonna poke his nose in there. Make it 3 wide. They're gonna make contact. Putter dives in there. He's 5th. Traves a bump from Bates. 2 laps to go. Popsicle sticks in the air. It is an all-out race between these top 2. Cole Cabry goes fastest. Justin Brooks has got the best driver in the field on his back bumper with 1 lap to go. This time by White Flag is out, brought to you by Whiplash Sim Cams. Final time around the South Boston Speedway. What can Cole Cabry do in turn 3? He dives down low on Justin Brooks. It's going to be a drag race to the stripe, and Cole Cabry's going to outdo him. No, Brooks, a photo finish. Justin Brooks will win the Association South Boston 200. I really thought Cabry got him. That outside lane proved so potent once again. Justin Brooks to victory lane in the SimAuto Racing Association National Tour. the first winner with the brand new sponsor name. The Impel Motorsports National Tour kicks off with a bang. A photo finish at SoBo. It gets no better than that. Blake Massengill, Dylan Delaney, Tanner Bethea, all just in awe at what they just saw at South Boston Speedway. That was incredible. It simply gets no better than that, ladies and gentlemen. That was incredible. The last second effort to get through the field by Cole Cabry. Let's back it up and see if we can see that one more time. This, I believe, is coming to the white flag. Yes, it is. We'll watch this back. Cole was at one point 26th. He looks inside, got a great run out of 2. Takes the opportunity, throttles up, gives him the door, but somehow at the line, the drive off the corner is just too much. That is incredible. I don't know how Brooks got back to the line first. Cole Cabry did everything right. And I do mean everything. He feeds him the door right here, and Brooks slips up. He gets a little free. Cole gives him the door beautifully. That was perfect. And then to the stripe right here. I don't know how Justin Brooks did it. And you know what? I wonder. Oh, there's no way to really know now. Maybe we can ask. But I wonder. I talked about it earlier in this broadcast. Even though we can't check it on the replay, sadly. But there were drivers that chose a third gear setup versus a fourth gear setup and a fourth gear setup versus a third gear setup. I wonder which gear those two drivers were in and if that made the difference for Brooks to get back to the line first, because this is just so close. We'll slow it down right here. There's the door. And I guess that little slip up from Cole might have done it, but that is just so close. That is 11 1,000ths of a second when it's finalized. That is just incredible. One more time. Let's get it from this angle. Right at the flag stand. How close is it? 11 1,000ths of a second. Right there. That is your margin of victory, ladies and gentlemen. That is incredible. 200 laps of racing, tire saving. Do you go? Do you wait? All comes down to that moment. That's how close it is. We can even, I guess, frame forward a little bit, or, well, hang on. Let's back this up. Slow-mo. And stop. That might be the technical scoring line, being the yellow line. I'm not really sure. But that is how close it is between them. And we can even take the motion blur off. Watch this. That takes the motion blur away. That is literally less than the full length of a bumper on these bodies. That is incredible. Let's get to the unofficial race results and then name our NARL driver of the day and then talk with these guys. That is just literally as good as it gets here this evening. Out front, though, Justin Brooks leads 197 laps of 200 tonight. Absolute domination. Perfect job done by Justin Brooks. Cole Cabry did everything right there on the last lap. Comes home second. Casey Kelly third and fourth. And I told you those two brothers would be ones to watch. Sure enough, I don't know how they do it, but they are third and fourth from the association. Kyle Terzak hangs on, does a beautiful job coming back after his slip-ups early in stage one. And maybe that was to save tires, I don't know. But Terzak, nice recovery drive. Could have been for the win. Maybe chose wrong on that last restart. Is what it is. Cameron Hamilton, 6th. Tracy Petter, a new driver to this national tour, I believe, in 7th. Dylan Bates in 8th. Parker Trays, what a drive for him. 9th place after being dead last in stage 1. And Alex Thomas, first start here with the big boys. He's 10th. Finishing 11th, you'll find Mitch Drunowski, decent recovery after being involved in an accident or two, and was nominated for Driver of the Day. Right now, Cabry has the edge, but you can still vote for Justin Brooks, Mitch Drunowski, or Kyle Turzak. Keith Jeffrey, Daniel Pope, Justin Crow, and Spencer Dickinson, your top 15. Trevor Edwards nearly came through the rest of the field, but only gets about 16th spot. Grant Brown falls out of 17th. RJ Williams recovers to 18th. He had a bad day. Joel Smith as well, 19th spot. And Matt Rolfe had some problems there early in the race, but finishes 20th. Kyle Meyer was turned around, I think, at one point, 21st spot there. Eric Tracy, 22nd. He was turned around late in the going. Kieran Church, decent miss in one of those crashes, but ends up 23rd. John Willett transferred with a provisional, finishes 24th. Josh Cottle was up in the top 5 a lot of the day, but finishes 25th spot. Dallas Pataska, 26th. Jacob Harberts, oh my gosh, the heartbreak there, 27th position. Josh Parrish, 28th, but maybe no greater fall than these two at the back end. Alex McCullum and Chris Horton, 2nd and 3rd, probably most of this race, and they end up 29th and 30th. Had they still been there at the end, I don't know how this would have worked out, but boy, that's a what could have been moment, I think, for Cole Cabry. Let's bring in Justin Brooks, who we talked to at the end of stage number 1 as the stage winner across the board. You get those extra bonus points to the Virginia Triple Crown, but more importantly, I don't think I've seen domination like this in a long time, Justin. 197 laps led of 200, and you said earlier you were saving tire. Now that we're at the end, is that still the case? Were you saving tire all that time? Because it looked like you were driving away early in this race.
When we had that caution with about 15 to go, I think, when Turzak was second, and I had over a second on him, I drove it hard the first few laps just to get see how the balance was, and I seen him, he was starting to slip, so I started backing the pace down myself, like maybe a tenth and a half a lap or so, just saving some tires in case we had a yellow. And fortunately we did, because I feel like if that race we went green flag, I would have stretched it out. I mean, the car was unbelievable for as much tire save as I did compared to others, like Cole and them fell back, I think he said, in 22nd place saving tires. And I feel like I had the fastest car out there except that last restart. I was just messing up, and I let them get inside of me because I got a little tight, so I overdrove the corner. And yeah, well, you seen what the finish happened. So I mean, it was a hell of a finish. I'm sure you were at the edge of your seat for it too.
Absolutely was. And I called with about 4 to go on that restart. You getting down in front of Cole into turn 1, I felt like won you the race, because that held him back just long enough. Would you agree?
Yeah, and like I said, it was perfect. It was a perfect restart, and fortunately, I didn't give it away. I thought I was going to give it away when like I said, I overdrove it in the corner, and he got inside of me there on that last lap, and I had to pull a Lightning McQueen and stick my tongue out just to beat him across the line. But man, it's always fun racing him. I've always had a pleasure racing him in the past. We're good buddies. Same with Cody. Cody and Casey's my best friends, and it was nice to have him up there and battling it out too.
And you know, we have the telemetry graphic that we can check what gear you guys are running. I don't recall because I can't check back in post. What gear were you in at top speed? Because a lot of drivers went for 3rd, a lot of drivers went for 4th, and I'm wondering if maybe that was the difference between, because he fed you the door off of 4, so I'm wondering if maybe your gear choice in the setup was the difference in getting back to the line before him, even though off of 4 you were behind him.
I had a 3rd gear set, but the gear I ran, it could have been a little bit taller, a little bit taller. I could have had a little bit more straightaway speed, but I was just trying to keep the car pinned down in a corner. So I mean, I don't know if it made a difference. It might have. I know if I would have ran my original gear, I probably wouldn't have beat him at the line, because it was just like a 0.3 or 0.4 difference. But that matters a lot in these cars. So I mean, I don't know. All I know is whenever we made contact and I got sideways, I didn't lift out of the gas. I just tried to John forced it out of the corner and hope it stuck. I honestly thought we were going to wreck, and I mean, I didn't lift till we got to turn 1. I mean, I was just like, screw it, I'm sending it here. That's all I got, and like I said, it was just enough. I think it was 7 1,000ths. I mean, that's as close as it's going to be. I know they were talking about in Discord about last night in the Legends race having one of the closest finishes in SARA history, so this definitely will rank up there, I'm pretty sure.
This will definitely be high up on the list. I don't know. I'll ask him what his gear ratio, or I guess if it was shorter or taller, what gear he was in, but I gotta feel like if you were in a slightly shorter gear ratio, that might have done the difference. That acceleration off the corner might have done it. Either way, Justin, congratulations. A dang near perfect race for you, and you will be the top of the point standings here in the Impel Motorsports National Tour. Congrats.
Thank you. Before I go, I want to give a shout out to all of the association for getting in and running laps with me this week, giving me their feedback on the setup. Cameron Hamilton, Parker Traves, Casey Kelly, Cody Kelly, Jim Cottle, Joe, Chalmers Parker, everybody over there that hangs out and is a part of it. Thank each and every one of them. I want to thank my girlfriend Haley. She's watching right now, and I think she watched the whole race. So bless her heart for having to watch 200 laps, because she usually don't like watching that long. But give her a shout out. Thank Cole, like I said, for he could have completely killed me there if he really wanted to for the win, but that was almost as clean as you're going to get right there. So thank him for not KOing me, and thank Matt Roll for putting this on. Thank you for broadcasting, and anybody watching out there, I hope you guys enjoy this race.
As clean and close as it gets here in the Sim Auto Racing Association. Congratulations, Justin.
Thank you, buddy.
Second place, though, is your driver of the day, Cole Cabry. Gets the fan vote for North American Racing League driver of the day. That's got to feel pretty good. I know it's maybe some salt in the wound because you wanted to have that win too, Cole, but so close. Is there anything you could have done differently?
Oh man, no. I just want to say that that was freaking badass. That was a lot of fun. I haven't had that much fun on iRacing in a long time. Coming from like 24th after we, fell back, and I'm kind of lost for words. Although it's just an iRacing race, that was so sick. Maybe if we had a few more laps, because I think he burned his right front up just a tad bit, and I was able to roll the center a little bit better there at the end. But no, man, it was sick, and just happy to be in this position.
And I asked him about his gear because that was the tied for the ninth closest finish in SARA history. That's as close as it gets. You had the edge out of 4, but he drove back by you on the straightaway. I gotta wonder, what gear were you in? He was in 3rd. Were you in 4th?
Yeah, we were in 4th right there. We maybe I should have tried 5th if we had it, So, no, it was a lot of fun. I didn't want to do anything too dirty. Me and Brooks we're really good buddies outside, and that whole team over there, they're good people. So as long as we can get a finish like this every race, maybe sometimes I'm ahead, I'm stoked with it. It was super sick. I just want to give a shout out to the shop, Josh, Trevor, Keith, Kyle, Blake, all the boys over there. They really, this is all them. I get the pleasure of driving the thing, and yeah, it's super fun.
Started 13th, dropped to 26th at one point to save tires, drove back through the entirety of this field. Some of the best late model drivers on the sim, and you finished 11 1,000ths of a second shy of victory. Congratulations, you're today's driver of the day, and I can't wait to talk to you again soon.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
That is Cole Cabry this evening, finishing 2nd place. We'll move on down the line and get 3rd place finisher Cody Kelly, who won this race a year ago. And Cody, we checked in with you mid-race. Oh my gosh, so close. Could you have done anything, or were you too far back on the restart?
I was getting close to him there on them final restarts, but stuff happened, and I kept getting further back, and I'd start 4th or 5th and get racing really hard. I think I might have would have had something for him if I could have just had a little bit better track position. I thought one of the last restarts when I was in 4th, starting behind Justin, I thought we were gonna be able to get there and battle with him right there, but they had Kyle and Justin had some contact, and it kind of messed the restart up a little bit, and I fell back behind Cole, and then there on I was just kind of just waiting on them to get together or something, and maybe I can get by them. But man, that was a really fun race. I felt like I was on the bottom side by side with somebody the whole time.
A lot of side-by-side race in the back half of this race for sure. We talked about saving tires early when we talked to you, earlier in this race, I think after stage 2 or so. How much did that help you later on? Do you feel like you needed to save more, save less? What was going on there?
Well, I think I'd say I saved about 50 laps or so, but I got back to probably 8th or 9th, and I just felt like I was too far back to to actually try to get up there and try to win the race. So I started moving up through the field a little earlier than I wanted to, so my tires were a little bit burnt up at the end. But I think I had a really good strategy from my start position from 8th place.
I can't disagree. 3rd place for you. Congratulations, Cody. A solid way to back up a win a year ago. And, hey, a lot more chances to win later this season in the National Tour and the Super Series when it comes back. Congratulations tonight. Good talking to you. Hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Cody Kelly, 3rd place this evening. A fantastic effort at a driver 75. Can't talk up his win a year ago enough, but I think this win for Justin Brooks might be just a bit more impressive. 197 of 200 laps led. Congratulations to Justin Brooks and that entire team over there. Let's take a look at what's upcoming for this season in the Impel National Tour in 2025. Next up, it's the Cody Williams Design Slinger Nationals. We head out to that quarter mile in Slinger, Wisconsin. The ASA Stars National Tour was just there for Father's Day weekend. They had a great race, and I look forward to seeing how we send supers around that racetrack in a couple of weeks. July 10th, that's coming right up. Then we throw back into the late model stocks for the second leg of the Virginia Triple Crown. It's the Hampton Heat for the Thornburg Construction Hampton Heat there at Langley Speedway. That'll be a whole lot of fun. On through Oxford, Martinsville, Nashville, Five Flags, and Southern National Motorsports Park. A lot of great racetracks and great race cars coming up, flip-flopping between the late model stock and super late model. I think we start out in the late model stock, then supers, and late model stock, then supers, and late model stock, then supers, then I'd imagine supers in the fall brawl, and probably late model stocks in the Thanksgiving Classic. So we're getting 4 of each as the schedule stands. But also want to take a look at what's going for us here on Pit Stop TV. The next broadcast you'll see here on the channel will be the opening of the Majors 24 on Saturday, June 21st. 8:45 Eastern, we're planning to go live, but the race starts about 9 a.m. Eastern for the 2025 edition of the Majors 24. 24 hours around Le Mans. Should be a lot of fun, and it is Zeus Revenge. No rain the last couple of years, with the rain enabled last year for the first time. No rain. It's coming in here this year. We will get rain in that race. Don't know exactly when it's going to fall, but then it should dry out as the morning wears on, and we resume coverage at 3 a.m. Eastern. Keep tuned for all of that, everything going on with the Majors 24 coverage here on Pit Stop TV. And then next Thursday, it's back to road racing once again with the North American Racing League in their 8th season of action. We'll be heading out to Mugello for the opening round of that 8th season of GT3 action. We've covered every season thus far, and we look forward to the next one beginning June 26th. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Big thank you, though, to our partners: All Pro Late Model Tour, Cody Williams Design, Corey Bodie Motorsports, Crow Sim Shots, Davis Chassis Works, DriverTees.com, Dylan Bates Racing, Fast AF Designs, Hides Pride Leather and Sheepskin, International Short Track Association, Matthews Designs, 1-8 Coffee Company, 1-8 Racing Media, Patriot Media and Marketing Services, Pedley's Garage Incorporated, Pierce Fleet Service, Race1Wraps.com, RJW21 Management, RS Enter Trucking, SARA Next Gen Templates, SimRap Market, Toxic Media Solutions, and Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes. A big thank you to our partners here at the channel: Whiplash SimCams, ATVO, CC's Business, Cody Williams Design, Lucky Performance, and the North American Racing League. And, we talked earlier about the Lucky Performance, Lucky Day of the Break, but never really came back around to it. I'm going to leave it there with Parker Traves because he recovered to a top 10 finish. I could even throw in Trevor Edwards still, but to not go that lap down, to play the roadblock there in front of the leaders, Justin Brooks and Alex McCullum at the end of stage 1, that I feel is today's lucky performance, lucky break of the day. He kept in this race, never lost that lap, and comes home to a 9th place finish. That's about all you could ask for when you start that deep in the field in stage number 1. Thanks for tuning in this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. Make sure to catch us all over social media in the social media Simscape, and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, and X, all across these platforms. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Andrew Cardinale IV, solo tonight. Wisdom teeth removed a week ago, but we're moving on. We'll see you all next time.